Hello guys, today I'm doing a request on how to heal as a druid. This video is going to be a setup into 4 parts. 1 is stats, 2 is talents, 3 is basic healing spells, and 4 is your rotations. To get started, I have one thing to say, congrats on wanting to become a druid healer. They are super fun and I know you're just going to enjoy healing as one. Now to get into more seriousness, as a druid healer, your main stats you want to stack are intellect, critical strike rating, haste rating, spell power, and of course spirit. As a druid healer, your 2 main stats you really want to focus on stacking is as much spirit and intellect as possible. The more spirit you have, plus the more intellect you have, equals a bigger mana pool and the more mana you receive while in combat. The other stats I listed earlier are important, but your main ones you really need to stay focused on is spirit and intellect. Alright. So, the talents category is going to be really short, since the talents under Resto Druid are really simple and brain dead. Although, when I spec'd into my Druid, I saw that Nature Swiftness and Cleanse Spirit I didn't spec into, because I never even used them, which left more talent points for me to spend. So, in doing that, there was definitely 3 talent points that you need to spend in Feral. Yes, Feral. And it says that near the bottom, it says increases your mana by 15%. You need this. Remember, more mana and more spirit equals the bigger mana pool and then more mana regeneration while in combat. Alright, now we get to the basic spells you got. The HOTS, heals over time spells, you get a Rejuvenation, Wild Growth, and Life Bloom. The more casting related spells you get are Nourish, Regrowth, and Healing Touch. You also get Tranquility, which you are going to use as your emergency button when everyone gets majorly low on health for whatever reason. This has a major cooldown, so you only use this for emergencies, or, if you're just messing around in Stormwind. Cough, cough, that's what I do. Anyway, so now we go on to the rotation spells. This is going to explain everything to healing as a druid. Here we go. Now comes the rotations. When healing in a dungeon, which is excellent for practice, you are going to use 3 stacks of Life Bloom on the tank. Make sure to keep this up at all times, unless someone is AFK or during short breaks. When you spec into Restoration, Nourish, Healing Touch, and Regrowth refreshes Life Bloom, which is really helpful, since in Cataclysm dungeons, mana cost is very pricey for Life Bloom. Now, when healing, you occasionally get Omen of Clarity, which lets you cast any cast-related spell for no mana cost at all. This is where you use pricey spells like Regrowth and Healing Touch, which also refreshes Life Bloom. You can, of course, use these spells, but just keep in mind that they will be very pricey. Now that Life Bloom is on the tank, he may take a lot more damage depending on how much they pull, so casting Rejuvenation doesn't hurt. When the party takes damage, cast Wild Growth or Rejuvenation on certain targets, and use Nourish on the party members that are super low. Now, as a Resto Druid, you get an amazing spell called Swiftmend. Be sure to get the glyph for this ASAP. Swiftmend takes away a Rejuvenation or a Regrowth hot, and uses it to heal the target for a certain amount. With the glyph, though, it no longer takes away the hot, which is very useful. Use Swiftmend on the tank, who takes almost a one-shot, and you can use it on other party members or as an emergency button in your party. When you cast Swiftmend, you get a Florence, which heals anyone around the target you just Swiftmended, and which is very useful, so it can also heal the group at once. Now, healing techniques are very important as a druid since you have to keep up with all your HOTS. For healing, I use Voodoo, and I bind all my spells to a certain button combo. Healbot is good too, but I get tired of all the updates, and Voodoo works better out of both, in my opinion. If you don't want to memorize button combos, you can always get Helium, which does take up your space, but it's more clicky type of healer. If you don't want any add-ons, you can always go to the interface, set your party to raid type frames, and simply click on the person's box and the spell you want. Now, in order for you to get to more mental image, I'll show you this footage of a trash mob in a boss fight, with help, of course, as my druid. Right now, she is level 74, and I hope you enjoy.